Everyone, so it's that time of year again and I'll be doing my hand painted Christmas gift hacks. So I'm going to show you how that process happens. So first of all, I have this bamboo paper here, which is it's lovely, 265 GSM. So it comes out quite thick, and it's also a sustainable option. And I actually quite like the thickness of this paper for gift tags. It's quite sturdy. So then it's just punched out and a little hole at the top with my little hole puncher. Then it's I find it much easier to do multiples at a time than it is just to do one. So here I've done 10 and we're going to start with our little koalas. So you can probably see they are all kind of same but different. So let's start with painting. So I'm again using my beautiful Faber-Castell watercolor pencils, which are just my go-to pencil for when I'm illustrating. So I've got the series of greys here. I've got sort of a mix with warm and cool greys, black for the nose, and a dark flesh pink just for the little inflection there in the ears. Now these guys are going to be wearing Santa hats, so I haven't painted this bit yet. I really want to get his fur kind of done, and then a sort of suggestion of the fluff that's on the Santa hat there. So we'll probably end up doing the koala first, and then we'll come back and do the Santa hats. Alright, so without further ado, so I've got some brushes that I'm using the Coatmans. I've got a 0 for the detail, and this one I've chosen about a 2 just to get again my initial wash down. So let's go. For those of you who have done my intro to watercolor workshop before, you'll know this is one way we use watercolor pencils. So I've illustrated the head, and now I'm going to use my wet brush over that illustration to bring all that color together. Then when I want to add more color, I'll wet the tip of my brush, and using the wet the tip of the pencil, and that helps me get more color. So just like when I'm doing those fine details like the nose, eyes and mouth, that's one way we can use our pencils. So now the bears are done, and you'll see there's this little sort of fuzzy line, and that's just done with like a repeating sort of dotty pattern. And so what I'll do now is when we do the Santa hats, we'll do the same thing with the red, sort of like do it in a little bit of a dot. And so what they'll do, that will create the illusion of the white fur that is on the Santa hat, and it'll just be blank because the color of the paper is white. I'll show you how we go. So then once we've done the dots, sort of leaving some of them and not painting all of them in. So now it's just a matter of repeating that process. So doing the dots, doing the shape of the hat, and just leaving a little bit of a taily bit close to that ear so that we can do the pom-pom later. Okay, so now all the Santa hats are done, and you can see that dotted section, and so now we're almost done. Now I just like to come back in underneath and kind of darken under that hat so that it stands out a bit more. And of course that hat needs a bit of a pom-pom, so just giving it a bit of texture there. Nothing too, doesn't have to be perfect, it's just, there you go. Okay, so now that's done. Now you can you could leave them like that if you wanted to. You could write a message. I usually write, "Have a Beary Christmas," but you could even have your own little punny saying on the front, or you could just have a to and from, or from Santa, anything you like, but that's your little gift tag done. So I'll go ahead and write now. So I've got my Stettler pigment liners. I find these are actually really handy. I find that these don't bleed as much as the microns. I find the microns can be a little bit too wet, and so it ends up coming back up on your fingers, and when you're doing multiples it can get a bit smudgy. So yeah, so we'll just, so this one's a 0.8, so it's quite heavy, and we'll go change pens. I've used the 8 for that, and I'll change to a 1 for the berry, and I'm just gonna be So I'm moving the card every single time so that the writing is following a bit of a curved line. So now I've done the first line, so now I can come back and do some thick parts on the text. Back to the size 8. Christmas gift tags. All done.